We're making a great deal. We're going to make a great deal. Other, we'll just go back and finish it off militarily. We're getting what we want slowly. Very tough negotiators. It takes a long time. I'm in no hurry. I'd like to say I'm in a hurry because, you know, gasoline prices are going to come tumbling down. But if you're going to be in a hurry, you're not going to make a good deal. And slowly but surely, we're getting, I think, what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we're going to end it a different way.
All right, here we go. President Trump reportedly sending Iran a revised peace framework, tougher terms. He reaffirms he's in no hurry to get things done. And don't worry about it. I am not going to rush a deal. Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen joins us right now to go over this deal. Marc, great to see you. Great job over the weekend.
Thank you.
All right, so let's outline, if we could, what the president is actually demanding from Iran first. First off, they say we can't get a nuclear bomb, can't have a nuclear weapon. The question is, how do we ever observe that? How do we ever get an accurate count of that? Because they build their facilities into walls. The MEK is the one who exposed a lot of this stuff. Yeah. They never can.
And also not just not build a nuclear weapon, but not acquire one or obtain one from somebody else, because that's another possibility. So he's trying to close. He wants that to be lock solid. But the problem is the pledge is not enough. He's got to get the nuclear dust, because their words are useless. We have to actually get their weapons, get all their equipment.
And the way I understand it, Marc, the president said, okay, I need to know when I'm getting it and how you're able to dig out the uranium, about 1,000 pounds worth. That would be significant to get that out of the country. But the problem is the Iranians have already said that was humiliating for us to ship some of the uranium out during the Barack Obama days. So how are they going to suddenly let this uranium out? We'll have to see. Now, what are the Iranians demanding for us? Okay, take off the blockade of their blockade. We're not going to do that until we see some movement.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So first of all, he has to get the nuclear dust. Like in 2004, the United States went into Libya, got all of its centrifuges, all of its nuclear dust, took it to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We need something similar to be able to show that this program is finished.
Do you think that we would ever agree to let another nation take the uranium?
There's lots of ways to skin the cat. It's just not got to be. It's got to be not in Iran, and it has to be in friendly hands. And one of the things that's interesting, people are saying, oh, well, we didn't accomplish anything with the military strikes, but the Iranians are telling us that stuff is so deeply buried, they can't get to it. We would actually have to come in and get it.
And we know that's not true. We did a lot of damage in the military strikes.
Yeah.
We just don't have a vision in there. Very interesting that the internet's back up and what we're going to begin to see. So safeguarding domestic nuclear rights, that's a little problem. We don't want them to have nuclear rights. They've already proven that they're not dependable or reliable. And they have a terroristic tendency. Maintaining sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, we would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's the big problem right now, is that they have shown that they can use the weapon of control of the Strait of Hormuz to deter us from restarting combat operations, from opening the strait itself. We can open the strait by force if we want to, but we've left that weapon in their hands, and that's a problem.
So the strait is controlled by Oman and is controlled by Iran. Oman is starting to have some tendencies like, hey, Iran's my buddy. We have made that clear. If you continue to show the tendency to side with Iran, Oman and our relations are over. But it goes to show you how sincere were they as an honest, so-called honest broker, because they were the stage for a lot of the talks that were going on. And finally, security guarantees and war reparations. They actually think we're going to write them a check for the damage we did to their country.
Yeah, so this is the big problem with even a good deal. Let's say Donald Trump gets a good deal, which I think he probably could, which means we get the nuclear dust, we end their nuclear program, and possibly even get the Arab states to join the Abraham Accords. He could build that as a huge success. Even if we do that, if we give them money, it gives a lifeline to the regime. There's been reports that they're talking about a $300 billion reconstruction fund for the Iranian regime. We can't give Donald Trump said these people are sick. He's literally said that. This is a regime that killed 40,000 of its own citizens just a few months ago. We can't give them $300 billion. And the reason why we can't give them $300 billion is because if we lift up this regime and give it a lifeline, everything that Donald Trump has achieved with Operation Epic Fury and with Operation Midnight Hammer is reversible. Because once he's gone in 2.5 years, if we get another weak president like Joe Biden in the Oval Office, do you think they're going to abide by this?
And I would say President Obama, too.
Yeah.
I would say they're both like that.
Exactly.
And by the way, there's the things we can do. We could stop them getting resupplied through land. We stopped them through sea, but we could stop them through land. And that would be very significant. And we could also up the sanctions and start shutting them down, pressing China. Marc, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.